Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode number 339 for December the 30th, 2025, soon to be 2026. So this is the last Idiot Quilter episode for the year 2025. It's gone by really quickly. But anyways, I am not entering the new year in a pleasant frame of mind over one little situation. You know that I mentioned that 2026 was going to be the year of the bag for me. I was going to, and I still am, but I had great plans to, work on a variety of different styles of bags, learn some new techniques and the whole bit. So right off the bat, I have had a major failure. Well, back it up. I had a major success, and I showed you that last week with the Holland duffel bag. Made two of them, love them, absolutely love the pattern. It is great. So if you've ever thought about buying that pattern, believe me, you get your money's worth because it is a well-written pattern. Unlike my experience with this mess. And this is from So Sweetness, and it is called the Amethyst bag. Now, I gave you a preview of this yesterday. I showed you the pattern, and I talked about it a little bit briefly on Stephen and Walter Live. But I did tell you I was going to explain in more detail why I did not like this particular pattern. I struggled with this, as you can see. But it started off bad. First of all, cutting out the fabric, that was okay, no problem. All the stuff that you needed for it, no problem there with that either. However, the big problem started with that little pocket with the red zipper on it. That should have taken me 15 minutes to with the pieces cut out to put that together. No, it took me 2.5 hours. Now, I was following the instructions, and the instructions for this particular bag are lumped together in large paragraphs. Okay, that's the first problem I have with the way patterns are written. If you cram too much information in a small space, it's very easy for the person dealing with the pattern, reading the pattern and following it, to get lost. I ended up having to underline and circle different things. I went over it many, many times, and I still could not understand, even though they included some pictures, and the pictures are not that great. They're taken at an angle where you can't really see what exactly they're doing. And I know I'm asking a lot from a pattern, but yeah, if you're paying for a pattern, then you expect a well-written pattern. And not everybody is a good pattern writer. It takes a skill, and it takes a lot of effort to write a clearly written pattern. When I write my patterns, and I'm not saying mine couldn't have mistakes, but I'm very, very conscious of that and try my best not to have one mistake in them. And I break it all down into small little chunks. Now, maybe that's the teacher in me. But I was taught when I was learning how to be a teacher that the best way to tackle a complicated project is to break it down into its smallest units of thought and clearly put those in 1 or 2 sentences and number or letter them. That makes life so much easier, and it makes your pattern a lot clearer. Well, they don't do that. Not with this particular pattern. Now, I'll come back to So Sweetness in a minute, because I don't want you to think I'm ragging all over them, because I'm not. And I will admit up front, first time making a bag like this, first time using one of their patterns, so there is some user error involved in this. I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I gave it my best effort. I finally figured out how to make that little tiny pocket. And I know you're laughing. You're going, you're an idiot. That should be very simple. I mean, yes, it should have been. And I almost went to, and I have made pockets like this before, but I was following their instructions to the T, or trying to, and it wasn't working out. Anyways, I finally got over that struggle and started building the rest of the bag. Well, then it came to the big zipper, getting that on. That was not really a problem. But putting it with another one of the panels, the outside panel, together, well, you can see what has happened. First of all, I somehow did not catch the edge of the fabric with the little pocket on it. And when I turned it right sides out, well, you know what happened. There you see it. It's a bloody mess. Now, I ripped out things many times over, and I still discovered that my zipper's in upside down, which I'm not sure how I did that, but I looked at the instructions. I thought I was doing it right. I'm still not sure I wasn't doing it right. I'm not sure if there's another part to it, and I know there's another part to it, that once you put that on and turn things, but no, I think I've got the damn zipper in there backwards, meaning that, you'd have to be inside the bag to zip it up. Yeah, that's not going to work. I was very, very discouraged. I spent a whole day on this. That did not count the cutting of the fabric. I had done that the day before. Now, to be fair, I think I used the wrong kind of stabilizer. I used too thick of a stabilizer, and that may have been my problem when I was trying to get all these pieces to sew together, because I had several layers to go through. And, I didn't realize I had not caught that one edge. Now, you're probably looking at us going, say, well, this isn't a problem. You can go in and re-sew that and whatnot. Yeah, but I've already said the big zipper, that black thing all the way around, is in backwards. It's not right. So I'd have to take that off too. Well, basically, I'm deconstructing everything I've done. Is it worth it? No, it is not worth it. So you know where this bag is right now? In the garbage. Now, I went hunting for a tutorial, because supposedly Sew Sweetness has tutorials. I think, though, from an email that I just got this morning from one of my subscribers who does Sew Sweetness things, and she says she doesn't have any problem. She loves them. And I've had several people tell me that they love doing these and they haven't had any problem with them. I could not find the tutorial for this particular bag. Now, I did find on their YouTube channel that about 2 years ago, they had a little teaser for this, but there is no link. And several people wrote in the comments below, where is the link for this bag? And there was no answer given to that. I went to their website. I could not find it. I scoured it. Funny thing is, though, and I think this might be the case now, this was a free pattern at the time that I got it. And I got it some time ago. It's been sitting in my files, waiting to be done. Now you have to pay for it. And according to this person that sent me the email, when you buy a pattern, it sounds like you get a link to the video. So that's maybe why I couldn't find it, because I didn't buy the pattern. It was free at the time. So I will give Sew Sweetness another chance. I've got several more of their patterns that I would like to do. I'm going to take a little breather from theirs, though. I'm going to start with something else, as I'll talk about in a little bit. So I'm not condemning Sew Sweetness. I know many people love their patterns, and they do look lovely. I mean, the ones that I've seen. So, it may be a combination of several factors. For this particular one, maybe not the project I should have started with. I don't know. Maybe I bit off more than I could chew. So I am going to give Sew Sweetness the benefit of the doubt, and I'll try again. I am not going to try this one again. There's a By Annie pattern that I have that makes a similar bag, but a little bit more. I like it better. And By Annie, I know you're all going to say, ooh, those are really detailed and complicated. Yes, I have done a By Annie before. They are a little intimidating. But the one thing I'll say is the instructions are very clearly written. Although they're very detailed, they're very clearly written. And the videos are excellent that go along with them. So, yeah. So I think I won't have any problem with that. So, yeah. That wasn't a great way to start my new year of projects. However, maybe that will get that one out of my way and we can move on to more positive experiences. Let's say that. Have some coffee. Okay, so that's all I've been really working on because, of course, like everybody else, we've been busy with Christmas. And now New Year's is coming, and then bingo, we're back to normal, I guess. The new normal. Whatever that is. So, Sewing with Steven. Speaking of getting back to normal, There isn't one this Wednesday, but they will start back up on their regular schedule of every Wednesday, starting at 8 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern Time, um, on next Wednesday, which will be January the, let me think, 7th. January the 7th. Yes. However, Pop-Up Sew Day. Now, those of you on my mailing list, you've already got the announcement about that and the link. For the rest of you, the link is in the show notes for this video and yesterday's vlog below. All are welcome. That's this Thursday. It is a Zoom. It is private. It is not a YouTube Live. You will need your camera on. You will need your mic for this. And it's come and go as you please. And I open the virtual doors for this at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And we go until about 4. So might be a nice way to start the new year. New Year's Day, I don't know about you, but where I live, everything's pretty much closed up on New Year's Day. There's nowhere to go. Not a hell of a lot to do. So, why not do whatever you want to do with me on a Pop-Up Sew Day? So that's this coming Thursday, January the 1st. Okay, January 1st, 2026. Yeah. All right. So there wasn't a Sew Chatty last week. There will be a Sew Chatty this week, and I've already got a topic picked out, and I'm just putting the finishing touches on it. And basically what we're going to talk about, and this was a suggestion from one of my subscribers, Nancy Ryan, and Nancy wanted me to deal with the topic of reality versus, or expectations versus reality. At this time of the year, New Year's coming, people do make resolutions, and I think we as quilters get a little bit energized. That's the word I want. Re-energized, because it's a brand new year, and we've got a lot of plans for what we're going to be doing. Like, we have a lot of UFOs we're going to finish. We have new projects we want to get started. We've got a few goals that we want to meet as well. We're all excited about that. We may even sit down and make long lists about these things. But we all know that things go awry. Life happens. Some things get done. Some things don't get done. Sometimes we get distracted. And that's the reality of the whole thing. So how do we deal with expectations versus reality? How do we make our expectations maybe a little more realistic so that we build in success and not disappointment in our plans? Anyways, those are things we're going to talk about in terms of how those apply to us quilters and sewers. Okay, so that will be this coming Friday, January the 2nd. Okay, so that takes me to subscribers quilt of the week, and we have seen several of this subscriber's lovely creations in the past, and here is another one, and this is from Kathy Weidman. This week's quilt of the week from a subscriber is actually not a quilt at all, but a couple of Christmas, very pretty Christmas hot pads. And these come from Kathy Weidman, and we've seen some of her beautiful creations before. And I think Kathy really likes to work in things in miniature, because she did do one of my quilts, my patterns, a while ago and sent it to me, and it's been done in miniature as well. And I really admire anybody who can do things in miniature, because I just don't have the patience for that. But this is another fine example of what I'm talking about, and Kathy has done a wonderful job on these hot mats. She says all she said about it was she was attaching a photo of Christmas hot pot holders if you'd like to share it on your vlog. Well, yes, there we are. I think it's beautiful. What more can I say about it? I think these are charming. I don't know if she was giving them as a gift or using them just at Christmas time around her own home. But either way, they are very, very attractive. And thank you, Kathy, for sharing your creation with us. Now, I have a few more quilts to feature over the next few weeks of the new year on here, but I always need more. So if you've got something you would like me to feature on here, send me one picture of it and a blurb, just a brief one, under 50 words, and I would be happy to show it here on a future episode of The Idiot Quilter. And my email address for sending it to me is in the show notes below. And I have said this several times before, but I know some people are new to the channel, maybe new to YouTube. Hard to believe there's anybody new to YouTube, but if you look at the description underneath my videos, and actually under any creator's videos, you will see a little start of a description, and then you'll see the word more. If you click on the word more, it expands that description, and that's the show notes. That's where you'll find links and other information that you might find useful right there. And that includes my email address as well. It actually shows you how to get it. There's another link for it. That's how it works on YouTube. But yeah, if you're not aware of that and you're looking for the show notes and you can't find it, click the little word more. Find that little word in the description box under the video and click on it. Okay, guess that's a public service announcement. Okay, what's that taking me to? YouTube of the week. All right, so before I insert my little video that I made on this, no, sorry, I am going to insert that now. What I want to say is this is actually a playlist for a tutorial for doing the Holland duffel bag. As I said, it's a great pattern. Do buy it if you're going to do it. You won't be able to figure everything out from the video without the pattern, so you need that. But this is the playlist for it, and well, here's what I had to say about that. This week's YouTube video of the week is actually a sew-along for the Holland duffel bag. I found this video when I was working on those bags that I showed you last time, and I found them extremely helpful. They are well done. They are very clearly explain everything and show you step by step how to put everything together. This is by Christina Brinkeroff, and I believe that's how you say her last name. And yeah, if you're struggling, if you've never made a bag before and you're jumping into this one as one of your first projects, and I think a beginner could do this with the help of these particular videos. So you may want to check this out. So that's the Holland Duffel Sew Along videos to go with the Holland Duffel bag pattern. Okay, so that takes me to future projects. Well, yes. The next one I'm going to show you is another Sew Sweetness, and it's called the Kennedy bag. This week's future project is another bag because it is the year of the bag, as you know, for me. And this one is also by Sew Sweetness, and I say also because last week the bag I featured, and for the next few weeks I think the bags I will be featuring will come from this particular website. This is a free pattern, and it's called the Kennedy bag, and it looks really cool. I really like the buckle enclosures on the top of it. Now, I'm not sure if those actually are there more for decoration than they are for actual practicality, but we'll see when I actually get around to making it. As I said at the time of recording this, I don't think I can really tell you for sure because I haven't finished that one I presented last week to you. I haven't finished making it yet, but so far the instructions seem to be very clear. And the best part about this is the pattern is actually free. So yeah, you can download this from their site. So I have a link for it in the show notes below, and I'm really looking forward to making this one. And I just took a quick look at the instructions, and it looks like those buckles are more decorative, so you could add anything you want there. You don't have to necessarily have that kind of thing. And I see that there's a little decorative buckle on the side of this bag as well. I don't think I have any buckles in my supplies. I'll have to look, and if I don't, well, I'll either order some or I'll do something else with this. But yeah, this looks like a really useful little bag, very attractive, and best part is the pattern is free, so you can check it out for yourself. Now that you've seen that as a future project, it is a future project. I'm putting that one, that was going to be my next project after the Amethyst bag that I had so many problems with, but I'm putting it all on hold. I want to have some successes before I tackle some things that could potentially give me problems. So I've decided to go with Adam Sew's bags, and next week I'm going to show you 3 projects of his that I have purchased from Adam. And they're all on his website, adamsews.com. Check it out. Adam writes great patterns. I have done one of his tote bags some time ago, and no problems whatsoever. And he has tutorials to go along with his patterns as well, which are very well done, very clear. So yeah, I have no qualms about starting one of his projects, but I'll talk more about those next week. Okay, so this is the time when I usually have a little segment on here about what's twisting my seams. That doesn't seem to be working. Okay, I've been asking and begging for people to send me things, and I don't think people are that interested in that. So I'm not going to do it anymore. Twisting my seams as a segment is dead to me, but I do have something in place of it. And this was an inspiration I got last week because of a conversation, a text message actually, I got from a friend of mine and a subscriber, Elaine. And before I talk about that, though, what is this segment going to be? I'm going to call it Points of Interest. And this is where I'm going to feature something that of interest to one of you, to a subscriber. This could be something you have come across that you think others should know about. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a video from another source. It could be an article that you found that pertains to our community of quilting or whatever. It could be an interesting picture. It doesn't necessarily have to be limited to quilting and sewing. It could be anything that has a creative interest to it. Whatever. It could be a painting. It could be an article about, the arts in school or kids in art or what they're doing in senior citizens' homes or with it. Whatever floats your boat and you think might float other people's boats, I want you to send me that information. All you need to do is send me an email that has, if it's a case of something that has a link to it, well, actually, they should all have links to them. They should come off the internet. Just send me the link. And just tell me very briefly why you think this might be of interest to people. Doesn't need to be an essay. Don't ask for that. Something that takes you, 30 seconds to write, and I'll explore it and see what I can do about featuring it here. So we're sharing the wealth. It might be a link to a tip about how to make something or for doing something in a different way in our quilting. As quilters, as sewers, we're always looking for something new. We're always looking for something that challenges us. We're always looking for creative inspiration. So anything that falls into those categories would work. Now, in order for this segment to work, I need your help. I need you to send me things, because without you, this particular segment is just going to go by the way too, the same as Twisted Seams has. And I'm always, on an extended note here, I'm always looking for something new to include, a new segment or something. If you have a suggestion of something that you think I should pursue on a more regular basis here on the Idiot Quilter, something specific is good. Not a overgeneralization, because, well, that's not that useful or helpful. But if you've got an idea for something, a segment, let's talk. Send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are. This is how we pick up topics for So Chatty as well. You give me the impetus for it. You give me the spark, and I can run with it. I'll do some research. I will figure it out. But I need ideas. I'm always got ideas up here, but I don't want it. I want you to be part of this, and this is how I can make you part of this. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, I'm going to show you an example. Elaine Hadlington sent me a link to a newspaper article online called Family Completes 115-Year-Old Quilts. Well, the headline itself is interesting, so I've explored it. Here's what I'm talking about. So Elaine Hadlington sent me this article, sent me a link to this article, and she thought I'd be interested in it. And I definitely am. And I thought you would be interested in it too. So I thought I'd share it with you. It's called, what did they call it? The title of this is um, a very unique, very surprising family finishes century-old quilts started by their great-grandmother, and they're 115 years old. And I guess this family, according to the article, was cleaning out their family home, and they came across an old trunk, and when they opened up, they found a couple of old quilts in them. And they were 115 years old. They were done by the gentleman that you see in this picture, by his great-grandmother. And so they decided that they would complete them. They weren't finished. It looks like a grandmother's flower garden pattern that's here. And it says partially completed quilts dating back to early 20th century with newspaper clippings to hold the patterns in place. The unfinished quilts had sat in that trunk for decades. My wife and I took them home and we started taking all the little pieces of paper out of the quilts, and a lot of them had dates on them dating back to 1910. So here's a picture showing some of those little hexies, the papers that were in there. So they hired their next door neighbor, who's a quilter, to finish the quilt for them, and they surprised this person's parents with these quilts. And here they have a label. Now this shows you the importance of having a label in a quilt as well, because this definitely places it in its time period. So what a great gift and what a great story. And they even have a history book where they show when the great-grandmother turned 100. So she lived to be quite an age as well. So it's family heritage. It's, you know, something that is very warming to your spirit, to think that this quilt that had been basically lost for so long had been refound, reclaimed, restored, and now given to people who would appreciate it because they're related to the creator of that quilt. I think this was a great story, and this is the kind of thing that I want to feature here on the Idiot Quilter with your help, as I've already said. So thank you, Elaine, for sending this link to me. This was great. So I hope you think there's some validity to my idea about this new segment, Points of Interest, and I hope you will become a contributor to it as well. Okay, so besides pulling my hair out over the amethyst bag pattern, besides working on Christmas and Christmas dinner and everything like that, what else have I been doing this week? Well, here it is. So, what have I accomplished this week? Well, really not a lot because, of course, Christmas. Spent a couple of days getting things ready around the house and cooking and cleaning and setting up everything, as you've already seen on our live and on the vlog. So this area, though, looks very nice and neat right now. This is my project area, and I straightened it all up, and I got rid of a few things in here, so it looks like I've made some progress. Well, not really. I have a new little bin here. It says, projects to do. Yeah. And you know how I said that 2026 is going to be the year of the bag? I'm not so sure about that. I just had a devastating failure. And I've already talked about that on the Idiot Quilter earlier today. So yeah, I have this over here to design another quilt of valor. I'm not giving up quilting for bag making. In fact, if anything, I'll probably do more quilts again this year than bags. But, for now, I think it's all because I'm so discouraged with that mess, that amethyst bag thing. That was just a mess. And to the point where I've got a bunch of their patterns from that company. What was it called? So something, so simple, something like that. And I'm just don't think I want to attempt any of them. I think I might stick to the tried and true, like Bags by Annie, that kind of thing. So anyways, looking over here, yes, the cat is still up, and underneath that is my orphan quilt. Those two have got to get on Lucy, along with about 3 other projects that are FOOs out in the Lucy room. I just haven't had the ambition lately. Now, I pulled this out. I bought this some time ago from Adam Sew's site, and it's his Thorough duffel bag. Now, I've made his tote bag back, quite a while ago, and the instructions for that are very well written, so I'm expecting these will be the same. But I've decided that I need to buy some more stabilizers for bag making. So I just dropped over $200 on Amazon, picking up a variety of stabilizers, including soft and stable. Soft and stable, I like it. I like working with it, but it is expensive. But I found some others that are the equivalent to soft and stable, and so I'm going to try them out. Now, I did buy some foam from Monfil, and I think that's one of the reasons why that pattern, I just hate it. There are many other reasons why I hate it, but that one, I think that was just too thick. It's difficult to find what, big foam that works well. That you can tell, because they all have different names, and so you don't really know what their properties are. So yeah, I'm doing that. As far as the 3D printing is concerned, well, I got a little project over there happening in there, but I did play around with something called Chroma on Maker World, which creates these printed pieces. And you've already seen the one I did of Walter and myself and a couple of others, but I really like how my business cards turned out. Yes, the color is not quite exact, because there's the original business card based on, but pretty good. And I bought a program, and it was on sale for $34 Canadian, called HueForge. It's all the rage right now, so any of you out there that are 3D printing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's all the rage for making things like that, and for making things like, if I go over here to the wolf, I mean, that was fantastic. Now, I didn't actually make that. Somebody else had and put it up for distribution, so I got it to try. But I did one of Walter and I here from a picture, and I think that turned out pretty good. Yes, you are not going to get colors that are true, like realistic, but I still think it's pretty cool. So I am going to experiment more with that. So really, that's what we're up to. And tail end of this week, I've got to take down all the Christmas decorations and get that out of the way, because Christmas is over. And yeah, my embroidery machine is quiet, but I've got a few more projects I want to do on it as well. I don't know if I'm getting a little overwhelmed. I have lost my mojo again. I've lost my energy. And maybe it's just the time of the year with, everything up to Christmas Day, just nuts. Maybe once, we get over that, we're into January, I'll get more inspired to make more things. I mean, I'm going to make more things. There's no two ways about it, but I just need the energy level to come back for all of this. I don't know if you might be suffering from that. We're moving into January, so, January blues. Isn't it in January when is it the first Monday to the third Monday or something in January? That's the saddest day of the year for people. Maybe that's what's happening to me. Who knows? So that takes me to online quilt stores, and this particular one is called Creative Basket. This week's online quilt store is called Creative Basket, The Creative Basket, and it's located in a place in Ontario called Thistleon. Thistleon. I think that's how you say it. I don't know Thistleon, never been there. But here on their front page, as you can see, they have some pictures of their brick and mortar store online. It looks like a nice little store. They have long arming service or sell them. This looks like they also sell yarn. Yes, they do. Lots of yarn too. So if you're a knitter, English paper piecing products, fabric kits, lots of things. And it looks like they have some groups, and this is their store right outside. So yeah, it's a cute looking little store. So they have their hours posted here for their brick and mortar store, and they show classes and what's on sale, what's new, and their calendar of events. So let's pop up to the top of the screen and let's drop right into shopping for fabric. So click on shop. And here we have everything laid out for us. They have wide backs, yarn, Bernina, sewing machines, fabric, notions, quilting, and sewing patterns. So let's jump into fabrics. And how is this organized? Well, they have batiks, children, flannel, florals, holidays, K facet, leaves, modern, panel, plaid, pre-cuts, rainbow mix, shop by color, solid stripes, tulip pink, Whites and whites, wide backing and fabric and winter fabrics. Okay. Well, let's jump into modern and see what we have here. Okay, so we have about 5 pages, maybe more. They have 40 different fabrics to choose from. Not a bad looking selection. Here, some interesting patterns. They do have blenders, solids. So let's see what the price is on one of these fabrics. We'll pick this one. $18.95 per meter. And you can get it as small as a 1 meter cut and go up from there. So yeah, $18.95 per meter is pretty good for fabric. All right, so let's pop back and see if that's the consistent price. What's for this one? Okay, that one, it looks like, well, they're not showing a price, so maybe they don't have that in stock. That's kind of confusing. I don't like that. If you don't have it in stock, don't show it. Oops, I went out of fabric. Let's look at another one. Let's check the K facet. Okay, so here this is all organized with pictures. $15.95 for one of them. The other one's, that's the only one that has a price on it there, $17.95. No, there's a few others. Okay, well that's pretty good if that is an $18.95. That seems the highest price, $18.95, but let's make sure that that is, yep, that's by the meter. So price-wise, they're pretty good, I would say. Okay, let's go back and let's check on, let's see, they've got, let's check on their solids. See what the prices are in the solids. They don't have a bad selection of fabrics. It's not huge, but I think there's something here that you could find. So what's the price on solids? Okay, this item is not available for purchase online. Okay, so you got to call them about that. Well, I don't really like that. Why is it not available online? Let's check this one. Yeah, it looks like these solids. Okay, so they're not selling their solids online. That's weird. That is weird. I have no idea why that would be. So, okay, let's check in here a little bit further. Boutiques. Let's check their boutiques. Okay, they have, everything shows they have 40 results in 7 pages. Interesting. Let's jump to the last page. Oh no, there's more than that. That must have been what was on one page. So they've got a lot more than what I thought at first. Okay. Okay, this is not on sale. This is not available for purchase online either. So we don't know a price. I find this very, very weird. If this is an online store, then why do you have to call them to buy something? Don't like that at all. That's putting me right off right now. So did I miss that on some of their others? Let's see here. Florals, abstract. Yeah, everything, none of these are available online. I guess I missed that. Let me go back to the original one that I had here and see. Let's see, what was it I was in? I went into modern. Yeah, okay. I must have hit one that was available online because everything else I'm hitting here, none of this is available online. What was the one that I looked at before? Can I find that again? I think it was this one, the Bone Damask. Weird, because something came up at the beginning with the price, but now, well, this one is not available at all by the looks of things. I think I looked at this one. Now, this one has a price. Okay, so it looks like this one you can order online, but most of it looks like you have to give them a call. Well, I don't like that at all. That's not an online store at all. That's just contacting the store about things. And, you know, quite frankly, I like to be able to shop online, pick out what I want, and move on, not have to call them, wait for someone to answer, try to get it across to them what I'm looking at. Yeah, don't like this at all. Now, they do have a design wall, so maybe you can add it to your design wall, and then you could tell them then how much you want it and all that. Now, place your order now. Okay, if I add that to the cart, what's going to happen? Okay, this is very, very weird. That one I can order online, but everything else looks like I can't order online. So I don't understand the philosophy here whatsoever. Do they explain this? Do they have an FAQ about? Let's check out their about and just see. Nope, they have no information there at all. Um, they don't seem to have any information about what it's going to cost you for shipping either. If I go back in here and click on fabric, just put one of these into my cart. No. Okay, this is a real letdown. This is not a great shopping experience here. It's a very frustrating one. So let's look at a few other things. I think they also had wide backs. Just see out of curiosity what they offer for wide backs. They have 4. Prices are pretty good on wide back, but again, or you can add that to your cart. And if I go to the checkout, maybe I can find out shipping options. Okay, it wants me to plug in my address. It looks like it goes through Shopify. It's probably done by Canada Post, so it'll be the standard kind of thing. Okay, well, I'm not going to put that in because I'm not going to put in my address there. Yeah, I am no longer impressed. Let's go here to Quilt and Sewing Patterns. What do they got? Oh, it said there's result. There's 4. There's quite a few pages of sewing patterns, so they've got a lot. But again, can you order these online? Nope. You got to call them. So basically, this is a phone-in store. Don't like that at all. And for that reason, I am definitely going to mark them down because this is truly not an online store. Let's check classes out. See what they offer. Nothing. Okay. Quilting. Well, they do long arm quilting. Newsletter. Yeah, I'm not signing up for that. Or wait, the last time they did a newsletter, it looks like 2023. So they're not up to date on that either. Very disappointing. They have a gallery. Well, yeah, they show these things, quilts, but yeah, this is a very bare bones kind of site. And as such, well, I don't have a real feel for this. I think that their main business is brick and mortar, not online at all. They really don't do online shopping, which is too bad because, you know, in this day and age, that's how businesses can stay in business. So for all these reasons, I am only going to give the Creative Basket 4 out of 10. So that brings me to the end of this episode, the last episode of the Idiot Quilter for 2025. And just a reminder, we have the New Year's Day pop-up sew day. Link is in the show notes below. And a final thought here for the year 2025. 2025, in many ways, has not been a good year, has it? I mean, politics, the world situation, all that as usual. And we're always looking forward to the new year for a new start, for, a better year. Um, you know what my plans are when it comes to sewing for 2026. Those are subject to change, of course. We have some trips planned for 2026. That always floats my boat. That's today's expression, people. Float my boat. And yeah, we're all hoping for a better year. Yes, the year, we don't know what it's going to bring, and there will be trials and tribulations, but there's something we've got as sewers and quilters that people who don't sew or quilt do not have. We have a creative outlet, and a creative outlet that allows us, for maybe a brief time, but for some time, to forget about the troubles of the world and to allow us to go to our happy places, which are usually our sewing rooms, and to do something that takes our mind off all of our worries for a brief time and allows us to enjoy the purity of creativity. And that's what I'm hoping we have a lot more of in 2026. And I wish you the best, and I wish you a happy new year. And we will see you soon in 2026. Bye for now.